Hello, everyone. Uh, Welcome to this talk called Unveiling the not-PowerShell code. We'll talk about PowerShell, we will talk about not-PowerShell, and we will talk about all other stuff. Uh, but one thing we're not going to talk about is how to track server attacks on scale because it's next door. So if you're in the wrong room, we can go now. It's fine. Like, I'm not going to be mad. But if you're in the right room, thank you so much for attending this talk. It's my very first talk, so I'm nervous. Let's put it that way. So yeah, okay. It's not who am I. It's get a user. It's PowerShell. So who am I? Oh, sorry. Who am I? Yeah, who am I? I'm Tas, Mangatas Tondang. I'm a threat hunter for Bell Canada, especially the Security Operations Center. I'm also a self-proclaimed chief memes officer. So you'll see like a lot of this stuff in this presentation because I want the presentation to be, like a lot of fun. I'm mostly doing threat hunting, threat intelligence, and training development for analysts. Threat hunting involving like developing the rules, trying tools like this, not PowerShell tools, hacking tools, and then we'll build detection against it. Threat intelligence, we follow like news on like APTs. We create YARA rules, we deploy it. And training development, we also have a training actually for PowerShell for our analysts, so they understand what's going on inside the PowerShell itself. Previous experience, application security, security auditing. I'm also currently part of CTF Challenge Maker for my alma mater, which is Sheridan College. It's Information System Security Program. Is there anyone here from Sheridan? Of course, it's my friend. Just to let you know. Yeah, it's a good program. If you see some other people from Sheridan and you want to hire people, talk to them. They're good people. Disclaimer, I'm speaking for myself and not for my employer. So the opinions are mine and not theirs, just to protect myself. Get objective. So when you walk out from that door over there, I want you to know that these tools, these not PowerShell tools, does exist. I'm gonna talk about like how they work, how's the engine like under it. I'm gonna share the ways for detection of these tools to all blue teamers here, and even red teamers can use it to improve their, attacking skills. And most importantly, to have fun. That's what I like. Yes. So let's talk about the content. For the appetizer, we get intro, because I don't think everyone here knows PowerShell in and out, not even me. I will talk about the tools. There's 4 of them. We'll talk about detection for each one of them. There's multiple detection for each one of them. And then I'm gonna give you some takeaway, and then there's like some other outro stuff. So before we start, these are the terms, because I'm pretty sure there's like students here, like they're not in the field. They don't know what's EDR, what's SIM. There's AMSI, CLR, CLM that is specific to PowerShell. There are LOLBAS, really popular in red teaming and also like threat hunting. There's DLL, like you probably heard about it. It's like EXE, but it's just library. Import, whatever. Yeah, so keep this in mind. All the acronyms, some explanation. I'll give you 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a fast 5 seconds. But okay, let's talk about PowerShell. Yes, the powerful PowerShell. It's not just some icon in your Windows machine. You never use probably. Question here: who's here ever used PowerShell? Oh. Wow, that's actually a lot of people than I expected. Who's here never used PowerShell at all? Okay, that's fine. So, for anyone who used PowerShell, do you know what is PowerShell? Boom. You want to come here and talk with me? No, it's okay. So yeah, it's pretty much a command line shell for SysAdmin, especially for SysAdmin, which instead of returning text, it's returning the .NET object, as you say. So, and it's really interesting because it's not as simple as text. There's like lot of underlying, there's a lot of library under the .NET framework. It's crazy. So the feature of PowerShell, there's commandlets, cmdlets, whatever you call it. So you type it, you do stuff. It's extensible. You can make your own. Scripting, yes. Memory execution, you don't want to leave it to any trace? Yes, you can do it. Flexible, you want to use text editor, Notepad++, you want to use Visual Studio? Yes, you can do everything. System-defined and environment variables, you can access it from anywhere, any folders, any directory. You don't need to, like full path, whatever. PowerShell comes, remote command and access. It's going to be fun for lateral movements for sure. PowerShell comes installed in every single Windows after 7 and 2008. Just a reminder, 2008 is 11 years ago. So pretty much everyone, I saw like a lot of 2000 server, and so, but yeah, there's a lot of server and endpoint still using the Windows 7 app. So the question is, what can you use PowerShell for? For Blue Team, you can use it as a SysAdmin, and also for Blue Team, you can get information either on the server itself, like my computer itself, or you can do it in the whole AD, Active Directory. You can schedule tasks. You can automate via scripting. You can set variables, encoding, encryption, alias, just to make everything easy. You can start, stop, suspend process, file management, create, delete, move, event log management for Blue Team. You can query like logs easily. You can download file over the networks and also upload file over the networks. Forget to put it there. This is one of simple, hopefully you can see it. It's a simple test connection. It's pretty much ping. If you connect to that address and it's successful, and then it's not down. If not, it's down. And then send email to the, like L1, L2 analyst, technician, whatever. Tell them the server is down. For Red Team, Empire, who are here using Empire, Red Teams? Rest in peace, by the way, because they just like, we don't want to maintain it anymore. Which is a post-exploitation framework, really popular with the Red Team. PowerCat, it's a netcat, but in PowerShell. PowerSploit, it's like Empire, but not as good Empire. No, maybe as good, I don't know. Sherlock, replaced by Watson. So it's like a vulnerability scanner used by Red Team, and then it will try to exploit whatever they found in there. Nishang, all-in-one offensive security framework. One of the example after this is actually from Nishang. PowerThief, it's a credential stealing on Internet Explorer. So your LastPass, your OnePass, they steal from it. All the info, asterisk, get asterisk, you can find it everywhere in GitHubs. Millions? No, probably like thousands. So yeah, this is the script I mentioned about the Nishang. So it's pretty much getting all the registry values, all the fun stuff. There's net.sh. So, and then you can find all the information related to the computer from this script alone. And there's like hundreds of this script like this out there. What about the APTs or advanced persistent threat or malwares? They use it a lot. Do you guys hear this a lot? Like Microsoft Word launches PowerShell. Why? Why not? Yeah, because these people, they use it to execute some stuff. For the APT29, they download the payload, the CDUC malware. They also do execution, of course, encoding and decoding of the command just to bypass security. Cobalt group, known to download and execute also. Emotet, it's known to download malicious binary. And one of them is Mimikatz, which red teaming tools that they use, and one of the banking Trojan that they have. So from everything up there, we can see like there's some overlap why red teamers and SysAdmin like them, both of them. Coming from the threat hunting, so MITRE ATT&CK is really big in our community. It's pretty much like our guidelines. So there's 12 tactics, initial access, execution, persistent, blah, 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 blah. You can find it on their website. It's available. But for PowerShell, interestingly, from those 12, There's only one of them, execution. And we'll raise the question, can PowerShell perform those tactics? Can they? Of course they can. It's really good, like framework PowerShell. You can achieve everything, all the 12, even though it's only in the execution. I'm linking it back to the previous example from the blue team. So the next question is for red team, for hackers, for whatever. If PowerShell is so good, why bother creating the not-PowerShell, like the title of my talk? Why they create it? It's because PowerShell loves the blue team. Back in 2015, PowerShell released like some important updates that is pretty much give power to the blue teams. How? New security features on version 5. Blue team get more logs. You get script block logging, you get module logging. This too is really essential because it will monitor everything inside the PowerShell activity. AMC integration will submit the script to the anti-malware service engine, and then we will block it if it's malicious. And then, yeah, so they render it useless. And then CLM mode, which is a constrained language mode. So for like sensitive environment, for example, what do you call it? Like the highest one, I forget the name, but yeah, that thing. Never mind. Okay, so it reduces the capability of the PowerShell, so it cannot do some stuff that is like really powerful, like it's admin level. Why this is bad for red team? Because if blue team make rules on their CM logs, it means more landmines for blue teams. For red teams. And AMC is actually blocking the red team tools. Mimikatz block. There's a bunch of other tools block. So it's not just like, hey, we make this incredible stuff. It's actually working. CLM, it's equivalent to living in your parents' home. You can't really do anything. Encoding and obfuscation becoming useless because when you run the obfuscated code or like the encoded code in PowerShell, the logs that they receive, it's the real code, not the obfuscated code. So they know what's going on. They can figure out what's going on in there, and it will fasten their IR process. So let's talk about the tools. So the first one is Inveigh. The tagline for that, I made it, sure, we can hook you up. Because, later, I'm going to explain why. It's Inveigh. You can find it on GitHub, created by amazing people from Javelin Networks. And you can see the presentation on DerbyCon 2018, actually. They presented back in 2018 as a POC. What's the feature of this tool? It's hooking. So you pretty much avoid the usage of PowerShell, the logging mechanism, the AMC detection by hooking certain things. For example, the System Management Automation DLL, which is like the engine of PowerShell. So it's pretty much reverse engineer PowerShell, and then they take that function out, and then they just, I'm gonna put it to the next slide because you don't need to hook for the function because they just return it back to the function. So it's do the job. They just continue doing the job, just not doing the security stuff. You don't need admin privilege because they have the privilege escalation module in their thing. So you can just run the bat file as a like normal user, and you can get admin privilege. And they're really smart. They detach everything after they're done, leaving no trace. And also cleanup functionality because for the non-admin version, they're gonna add some registry key, but when you're done with it, they take it off. They delete everything. For the components, there's two things you need to bring to the victim machine. The DLL, the dynamic loading library, the exe, that is pretty much library. It will provide all the hook, modify, jump functionalities. It's really complicated. I tried to look into the code, like they have the source code on GitHub. Yeah, if you like reverse engineering, go look at it. I'm not a big fan of RE. So you also need either one of these bat file. You can run it as admin, you can run it as non-admin. It will perform environment profiling, so it will know which process the DLL need to connect, which is like really smart. And then I'm gonna play a video of demo of Inveigh. So yes, so we are in the event viewer. So it's a logging system in the Windows. They send it here. You can see everything here. And then we are currently looking at the PowerShell, which is the operational. And then we're gonna refresh just to make sure it's working first. And then we're gonna clear everything out because we wanna try the tools because they claim when you run the tools, there will be no logs at all. So yes, so here, we get the DLL over here. We get the 2-bat file. That's all you need. And then, sorry, double click the bat file, run. PS, so that's PowerShell. Let's try some commands. Oh, and also up there, you can see, because I run the non-admin version, so they're doing that. They're adding the registry key, that value. Pretty much, this DLL have a privilege, so they're making it on the registry key. So let's test echo. Yes, it's working. Who am I? Of course, that's the server. Get process, PowerShell style, task manager. And then, yeah, you get everything. And then we'll see. There's PowerShell there. So if it's working properly, it should record everything, right? Let's refresh it. Down there, refresh. And then, oh, do it again. Maybe I misclicked the thing. Oh, nothing. So I guess there's nothing in there. Just to make sure, let's open PowerShell and then to see if it's working properly, the whole logging system, right? I'm gonna enter the same command pretty much. It got tasks, but from PowerShell. That's from PowerShell. Get computer info. So it will list all the info on your computer. It's doing the magic, the .NET magic, and then you get everything. And then let's refresh the logs. It's there. Everything is there. So yes, their claim is true. Everything is bypassed. All the logs 4104, which is the script block text, 4103 event ID up there, which is the module logging. So we get everything there. So let's move on to the second tools, which is PowerShdll. The tagline is, yes, we got DLL for that. This is the link to the GitHub. We got all the information here created by Penta. You get all the number of star and everything over there. There's 2 modes. You can launch the DLL using as a DLL, or you can do it as a exe. You can provide your script to it. You can fit your script, or you can do it interactive console, just like normal PowerShell. Requirements, it's .NET 3.5 for the DLL mode, .NET 2.0 for the exe mode. So they use this 5 exe binary. They're known as a proxy execution for malicious code, part of LOLBAS. I mentioned LOLBAS in the introduction. So it's living off the binary application and also script. So it's pretty much all the exe by Microsoft that attacker can use because it's already there. So this binary is also signed by Microsoft. So all the time, usually they're whitelisted by them. Each one of them under have TTPs under execution tactic from the MITRE ATT&CK. And on the exe modes, they use the PowerShell engine, the system management automation, and then automation run spaces. You can see this is from their source code. They're using importing the automation run space. And they will load these two DLLs so they can do the function. I will do the demo really quick. Oh. Is it running? Yeah. So yeah, all you need are, so this is the exe mode, this is the DLL mode. I'm gonna run the DLL mode first. So you need to run it from command line. There's 5 exe that you can use, but I'm choosing run DLL 32. So it's already open. So this is your PowerShell screen pretty much. We do the usual tests, who am I, get computer information. And then I will display everything just like PowerShell would. We're done with this. We'll see on the task manager. So this thing is not launching PowerShell at all. You can see there's a run DLL 32, but it's not PowerShell. You can see the DLL that they're loading. So no PowerShell at all, anywhere, nothing. It's the same thing with the exe. The difference is you just double click it. You don't have to type the command run DLL or whatever. So the next tool is PowerLessShell. The tagline for it, I made, don't worry, we get lolbus for that, because the main idea behind this tool is using lolbus to compile and also to do like some defensivation. It's Mr. Unicoder. You'll know him if you do Ring 0 CTF. I like it a lot. I think he's based in Montreal. So the feature is it will compile the payload at the victim machine using MS-build, which is lolbus. Instead of execution, it will compile your code to like exe. It will compile either PowerShell or like shell code. The funny thing is, instead of using the real MS-build, they actually copy it and then rename it to something else. So cock.exe. You can even change the name to random, like ABCD123exe. So the feature also using certutil.exe to decode the code. So before you compile it, they heavily encode it. So it's hard to understand what's going on in there. They also support the awareness mechanism. So only execute when the condition is met. For example, the user domain, let's say if the user domain is not hackfast, don't do anything. If this registry key, let's say local machine Windows PowerShell doesn't exist, don't do anything. So components, there's 2 of components, but this one, you'll need this to compile it in your machine, in the attacker machine. And then it will spit out a csproc file. It's really encoded. You can see here, like this is like a random mambo jumbo. You don't know what's going on. It's just like random characters. But when you compile it, it will compile it to your code. So it will do the real job. We'll do the demo here. So that's the code that I'm going to use. Simple one, echo get process who am I. So this is the code. All these things that doesn't make any sense to blue team analysts if they see it. And then this is the bat file that will run the thing. When you see this thing in your sim, like, what's going on here? Do I want to do something about it? Probably no, false positive. And then you can see down here, MS-build, copy MS-build to msss.exe, which is another exe by Microsoft. And then compile the code, and then delete everything, clean everything up. So we will run these tools. So all you need to do, just bring the bat file to the victim machine, and then it will compile the code. You can see the results. This is my hello world echo. This is my get process. And then at the bottom, there should be the machine identity. That's good. Now, PowerShell, just the PowerShdll. Sorry, that's not the right thing. That's from the last thing. But there's gonna be like a PowerLessShell. What do you call it? Process. So moving on, the last tool, not-PowerShell. It's a native .NET libraries only, please, for the tagline, because yes, they're just using .NET libraries only. There is no system management automation DLL, nothing. Links over here, SysAdmin. Really, this is I think the newest tool, like the recently got updated on July 2019. So the feature, it's implemented in C#. They don't use any PowerShell engine. They don't give any damn about that. Only use native .NET library. It's pretty much like remaking PowerShell. So you're running something else, but it's not really working with the PowerShell DLL's library reference. So there's two modes of execution. You can run it using run dll32.exe. You can load it to Cobalt Strike, which is another tool that is used by Red Team. It's really good. $3,500 for one person per year. Expensive. Yeah, for the Cobalt Strike mode, you need to bring the PowerShell itself, .exe, and then the Cobalt Strike file, which is the .cna. For the DLL mode, you have two options. Depends on your, system. If you're attacking 32 bits, take the 32, and then if you do 64, take 64. And then you need to load one of these using run DLL, one of the LOL bus. We talked about it a lot before. Pretty much like similar like PowerShell DLL because it's loading DLLs. So in the demo, let's do this. Yeah, so you have the two DLLs that you need to bring. Oh, this is the demo just for the run DLL32s. And then this is the CNA and the shell if you have Cobalt Strike. So yeah, just run out one of them. Run using run DLL, go to the main, boom. This is the best one so far because it's actually color blue, like PowerShell. How hard is it, right? And then who am I? It's notice it's different because usually it's like the SERP and then /administrator. It's a remake, so they try to provide more information as much as they can. For example, for the get computer info, yeah, you will see they have less compared to the PowerShell because they cannot find everything from the .NET itself. It's hard. It's a lot of work. And they're building one by one the cmdlets on the project. So if you want to help them, you can go to the project and contribute. So it's the run DLL32, but we're not going to see any PowerShell. We don't do PowerShell here. And then, yeah, nothing there. So moving along. So the tool's really awesome. If you're a red team, there's like a bunch of red team over there. It's really awesome. But unless you're a blue teamer here, who's blue teamer here? Not so much fun, right? Yeah, but good thing is I'm a blue teamer myself, so I'm building detection for this. So I'm going to share it also for you. Okay, question is, what can blue teamers do? Is there anything you guys can do at all? Yes, utilize your logs. By using SIM solution, feed the data in, building alert, like Splunk, ArcSight. I'm wearing Splunk t-shirt, but I don't work for Splunk. I work for Bell Canada. So there's two options with logs. Logs can kill you, final destination 2. Or logs can protect you in the nice warm log house. So you pick your logs. So detecting the not-PowerShell, there's 3 logs that can help us with this. Windows event logs, sysmon logs, Windows ETW, event tracing for Windows. And I'm offering 2 types of detection here. The low-hanging fruits, easy to make, easy to bypass. Just change the name, you get bypass. tools behaviors, which is like something that you need to modify the whole tools to bypass it. So let's talk about Windows event logs. So there's available by default in Windows. You can use even fewer. You can ship it to Elk via WinLogBit, Splunk using the forwarder, ArcSight using the connector. There's 5 types of them, but the one that we care the most is applications, security, setup, and system. There's hundreds of them, the event IDs, and each one of them have different information. Let's talk about Sysmon. Who is familiar with Sysmon? Blue team? Yeah, you should. Even the red team, or yeah, they're familiar with Sysmon because they try to avoid it, right? It's smaller event IDs, from hundreds compared to 22. It's not that much, but this event IDs is really powerful. And then it will ship the logs to your SIM, and then you can create rule and better detection. You can use correlation, aggregation. Same thing with previous. You can pretty much do it in all SIM solution, Elk, Splunk, ArcSight. Get even log ETW logs. So this one is a little bit more complicated. It's kernel level event tracing. So all those event IDs, like on the top, they're coming from this guy at the bottom. So there's feeding them everything, but you make it simpler. It will log kernel and application defined events to a log file. You can query it using PowerShell, like log managements, right? Logman.exe or a Microsoft Message Analyzer. Not all SIMs support ETW logs currently. I tried to use Message Analyzer, and then it's almost crashed my, like testing server because there's so many things going on, like all the calls, trace calls, all the DLL loads, like everything is there. Crazy. So as a blue team, we protect, we attack, and most importantly, we try to detect the calc, the most favorite tools. So InveighShell, you guys forget about it, right? No? Oh, cool. So yeah, it's pretty much the hooking, everything, hook everything. It's privilege and escalation is included using the registry keys, custom DLLs, loading. So let's detect them. Low-hanging fruits, the DLL names, Inveigh profiler.dll, the hashes, and when the bad file name. You can try to monitor it. If you see this file in your system, 100% sure it's this tool. The next one, this one is the behavior. So when you initialize the tools, for some reason, I don't know why, it will launch just PowerShell code. So the thing, you can correlate it with this parent command line. So it's the parent that launching that process always contain a bad file because you need that bad file to launch the thing. And then it will also launch by the exe, which is the CMD or maybe some other, even the run.dll exe. So you can build detection on using correlation of both of them. For privilege escalation, in command line, you will see this thing here. It will always appear when you run the process. And then you can also see the registry add pretty much to the CLS ID. This thing can be different all the time. And also we'll have the .dll/f. So if you build detection on that, you can pretty much detect it. You can make it more, like less false positive by correlating it with if the parent command line have a bad file. Registry contents, because when you launch the process before, it will create this registry. So this DLL is located in C user desktop or downloads or whatever, right? They, like attacker, they're not gonna paste it, they're not gonna copy it to system32. So you can build detection by any DLL that is not in system32, because all the important DLL usually is system32 because it's from Microsoft. And then just watch this target object. This is most important because PowerShell will load the InveighShell profiler DLL. This will never happen. Company, question mark, it should load something from Microsoft because it's PowerShell. And also you can correlate more by saying, is it signed by Microsoft or other companies? No, it's not. There's no signature status. So you can build detection on top of this. Tools number 2, PowerShell DLL. It's loading DLL using the 5-lol bus. Load custom DLL also. So detection for this, the low hanging fruits. So there's a section in the source code that you can actually modify the name and everything. But if you're script kiddies or if you're like too lazy to do anything, you just take that, paste it on the victim machine, run it, you'll see this stuff. So if they forget to change that, if you build detection on top of this, the description PowerShell DLL, company PowerShell DLL, you can pretty much detect them. For the better detection, why would run DLL32 loading PowerShell related DLLs? There's no reason for that. So if you see any run DLL32 or the other 4, RecSVR, Rec32, loading any one of these, it should raise an alert because they're not supposed to do that. Watch the loaders. So yeah, exactly. Run DLL32 are not supposed to load anything unsigned because like company will sign their DLLs, their exe. So if it's unsigned, which is signed false, and signature status is unavailable, you should raise an alert. And this is from SysMon Inveigh 97. Sorry, I should talk about it more. SysMon Inveigh 97 is for DLL loading. Inveigh 91 is for the command line, so for the process creation. So yeah, but whitelisting might be required because it's actually, you'll be amazed like how company do their stuff. For example, not-PowerShell, like loading DLLs for what? I don't know. The next tool, PowerLessShell, using MSBuild, using sortutil, copy and rename the exe to different name, calc.exe, and then they also load DLLs. So low-hanging fruits. So when you install .NET, when you finish installing it, and then 1 year later, there is a process that is creating a file, a exe file inside your installation, are you going to be like, what the hell is going on? And yes, you should say that actually, because you're not supposed to have that. Even usually when there's updates, we'll write like hundreds of files, delete hundreds of files, but this is only one. You should raise an alert on that. This is from SysMon Inveigh 11, which is file creation. PowerLessShell, still PowerShell. The tools didn't claim to be fading the loggings, and it's not. So when you do this, when you launch the tool, you do your script, you can still see it in the event ID for 104 from the PowerShell logs. So you can see my codes, get process who am I. So if they run like Invoke Mimikatz or whatever other tools, you should see it here. So it's up to you to build the other detection on the PowerShell side. So you need to correlate the sortutil execution and also the MSBuild execution here. So let's talk about the sortutil. So on the command line, you will see this on the description, it will always be sortutil.exe. The only way you change this description is to reverse engineer the tools and then deploy it on the environment, which is not something easy to do. On the sortutil, you will always see, it's shaking, the sortutil on the description, and then there's a decode hex options. If you see that on your CM, and then let's say the next second, the next minutes, you see MSBuild with the description MSBuild, they might name it as SMSS, whatever, .exe, doing some compilation of this file. So from the source code, I learned that the name will be random from 5 to 25 characters. That's the encoding. So if you see MSBuild combined with this random 5 to 25, combined with sortutil, you can really sure that it's I don't even remember which tool is this, PowerLessShell, it's doing stuff in your, like environment. Process masquerading. So this is one of the one of the detection that my coworkers actually built. It's really brilliant. So I mentioned about the description field that you need to reverse engineer it to do different things in it. So if it's not matching, just like, yeah, they're masquerading something. So you should raise an alert of that. This is from SysAdmin Info 91, which is process creation or like process execution. .NET loading. So if you see some random exe loading the .NET building that is supposed to be called by the msbuild.exe, it's suspicious. So you can create an alert on this. Even ID7, DLL loading. This is really interesting. SysAdmin Info ID10. This is complicated. A lot of things that you can read. I create a snippet here. System Management Automation DLL, which is the PowerShell engine. Why would like msbuild, fake msbuild, calling making call or try to access the process of the system automation, which is the PowerShell DLL. You can build detection on this. If you see anything here that's containing this on the, what is it, call trace field, you should raise an alert. The last tool, detection, it's you can deploy it with Cobalt Strike. You can load custom DLL using run DLL32.exe. Low-hanging fruits, assembly.info.cs from the source code. Like the description product, if you're watching that, it should be easy to detect. Cobalt Strike mode detection. Where is it? Well, we don't have Cobalt Strike, so we cannot test it. And if anyone would like to donate Cobalt Strike for our team, you can meet me at the back. I'll be happy. But Olaf Hartong, if you're blue teamer, if you're threat hunting, if you're red teamer also, you probably know this guy. So from the SysMon, even 98, for some reason, maybe just him that know, maybe the creator of the tool that know, it will always target the process address 0b80. Not sure why, but it will always do that. You can find more details on his blog, Medium, Olaf Hartong, blah, blah, blah. You can, I'll share the slides for sure. DLL modes, again, similar to run DLL32, using SysAdmin Info 97, DLL loadings. Watch for any run DLL that is loading not signed DLLs. And also unavailable signature. Whitelisting might be required because Notepad++ happened. Bonus detection. This is more like not really specific, but some of these tools require lower .NET version. The current version is 4.5 that is deployed, but you can activate the .NET version 3.5 and also 2.0, which is not good. Lower version usually means less security. So you can look. It's really interesting. If you need the lower version, they will install it for you right away. If you double click the exe and they're like, oh, we need lower version. Oh, let me just install it for you. So if you see this in your logs, which means an application is trying to use the lower version of the .NET, maybe legitimate, maybe not. That's why whitelist is required. Not PowerShell detection, like in general, just the big idea. Like I keep telling about this system management automation.dll. It's the library for PowerShell. If it's not PowerShell, why is it accessing that? There's no reason for it. So it should be suspicious. You can create alert on that. If Windows PowerShell if an ID 4103, the module logging, which means it will logs to the PowerShell will only will log to 4103, only PowerShell. So if you see any other host application that is not PowerShell logging to that, that's kind of weird because it's only specifically for PowerShell. So ETW, I tell you what's the problem. It's really big, a lot of data in it. But if you have time, you want to explore this too. It's really important for the .NET. So you can see for the not PowerShell tools, you need to exclude some unnecessary data. So the takeaway for the red team, use PowerShell if you haven't. Use those not-PowerShell tools if you have, and then the blue team detect you on the PowerShell. Use that tools. These tools, open source. It's so easy to modify. Change the description name, change the name file, everything. Make sure you deploy it on the right machine. Don't deploy it on Linux. Be nice to blue team. Blue team, okay. Update your PowerShell to the version 5 because Microsoft can love you if you don't update your PowerShell. Enable all the security features, the loggings, detect the PowerShell downgrade because like the .NET downgrade, it can also happen to PowerShell. Utilize your logs. Create the rules above, like I mentioned how to detect it. Ingest the logs above to CM if you haven't, if you have SIM. I'm pretty sure you have SIM. Try to upgrade the basic rules, maybe add some like encoding detection, stuff like that. Whitelist is required. SysAdmin will always use do random stuff. I have story from my coworkers. Who here used Empire before? Yeah, SysAdmin using Empire for managing server because it's good. So yeah, well, they do that. And then like, what do? You whitelist, I guess, the username. This guy is using Empire. And lastly, be nice to red team because at the end of the day, yeah, red, blue, and others, management, finance, infra team, whatever. We want to be a Megazord. We want to build the bigger, better security posture in your company. Yeah, that's yeah, it's way better actually acting with PowerShell than Kali Linux. So this is outro. I would like to extend my thank you for Bell SOC for the full support, letting me do the research, it's actually my day off today. I can present here. Scooby MTL and 13FNIT for inspiration, guide, and feedback. Tree of Life for allowing me to steal some of his PowerShell training materials. Good guy. My other coworkers that gave me feedback, allowing me to do this presentation better. I do the dry run yesterday, and I do the real run now. The 4 tools maker, really amazing, big brain. Red team, blue team, should be grateful for them. The Hackfest organizer and the tools creator for letting me stand here and then talk. And the whole community, like Twitter, a lot of inspiration from Twitter. Thank you so much. This is my team, our threat hunting team at Bell SOC. We have blog posts. I will try to make these 4 tools. I will try to make it to 4-part blog posts. This is our Medium. We post some other stuff. There's like MSXL, a bunch of like from TTPs. We love that. We love research. Myself, Twitter, GitHub, not many things here. And LinkedIn if you want to connect with me. You can scan this barcode to get some slides, maybe malware, email subscription. I don't know. One of the above. Hopefully it's good. All right, that's it. Thank you so much. And I have question. No, I don't have question. You have question. Who have question? Oh, with the Linux subsystem. Yeah, I haven't really looked into that. I'm not sure when are we deploying it. I haven't really looked into that, so I'm sorry I cannot really answer the question. But I would say there's going to be like a backdraw because they introduce new things, right? We're going to wait until then they introduce the new security feature for those updates. So that's my opinion, I think. Yeah. Is there any more questions? Thank you so much.